Yeah, how are you doing, Callene?
I am doing well, Dr. Berry. Thank you for asking.
Great, great. So, yeah, thank you very much for joining us in our podcast. This is our podcast, Computer College podcast, known as Learning Beyond Borders. We have been doing these podcasts with different instructors. So today, Kalin, thank you very much for joining and welcome to our podcast, Computer College podcast, Learning Beyond Borders. I hope this is going to be fun. It's not like
Hope
formal,
so
like
too.
informal, and it's going to be fun. And hopefully, you're going to share your experience. And yeah. So to just kick off our podcast, why don't I ask you about just introducing yourself? When did you land to Canada, and what you have been doing back home before coming to Canada?
But I started visiting Canada actually before I came. I have been visiting since 2013 because my dad is a resident in Canada. So I
Mhm.
have been visiting him since 2013. And
Wow.
what struck me about Canada was it was clean. So that attracted me, and I wanted to come, and my dad wanted me to come. But because I am not a dependent child, I couldn't just come. So I came as an international student. I went to
Mhm.
Centennial College. As a matter of fact, when I came originally, I came to study medical technology.
Oh.
I switched and PSW. I came for 2 years to study. Then I left Centennial College and went with my friend to another college. So I had to find my way back to Centennial College. So I actually spent 3 years studying instead of the 2 years that I
Mm.
should have studied. I back home before I came, that's actually why I came to study medical technology because I was a midwife. It has always been my dream. From I can recall, that is my career choice that I've wanted since I was a child. However, I did business studies in high school, and I actually worked as a secretary, as a data entry person before I actually decided that, you know what, this is not what I want. My career is, I would love to be a nurse, so I am going to proceed. So I stopped what I was doing, went to college when I was actually an adult, married and had a child. That's when I went to college, and I have been a midwife for about 13 years before I finally came to Canada in 2015, September of
Mhm.
2015, and I have been here since.
Wow, great. That's a really, really great story. So you came in 2013 as a visitor, and then in 2015, which is really great. And
Yes.
I know you have a very good passion to midwife, and you have such a very huge experience in midwife. That's a great experience to have here in Canada. Can you tell us a little bit about how you get into computer college?
Well, I got into to Computek College simply by chance. At least that's how I feel because I I got in through Antoinette. Antoinette and I have been classmates at Centennial College. We studied community development together. That's how we knew each other, and we became friends from the first day we met.
Mhm.
And she introduced me one day. As a matter of fact, she just said to me, would you like to send over your resume to me? I think Dr. Bear would like to speak with you. It was just as simple as that.
Yeah.
And I did. She said, it just try, because I said I have no teaching experience. How? I don't know. And she said, just try. So I did. And I must tell you, Dr. Bear, I was not prepared for those hard questions that you threw at me. But because of my lived experience as an immigrant, I was able to answer, I think, to the best of my knowledge, and that's how I got in Computek College.
Wow, great. So you ended up at Computer College through a referral. Yeah, I remember those discussions and those chats with Antoinette because we were looking for an instructor, and I was contacting them. And Antoinette was kind enough to refer to you, and yeah, you have been here as a good teacher. How long have you been at Computer College,
I
Colin?
have been here little over a year, March. I think it was March 16 of 2022 I started.
Mm-hmm.
So I have been here a year now.
Oh, great. That's great. You've been a very great teacher. So now let's go to the subject matter that you are teaching and you are expert about the CSW. Uh, so you know that students want to come and study CSW at Computer College. So what is your suggestion? What type of students should come and study CSW at Computer College?
All right. The advice I would give someone who would want to come and study at Computek, at least to study CSW. First, for me, it's for anybody, male or female. That's what I would suggest. But in order for you to become this person, you will have one thing you have to have most of all. You have to be an empathetic person, because you are going to be dealing with people who are vulnerable, or you'll see them at their vulnerable state. They come
Mhm.
to you because they need help, and
Yeah.
you are going to be the one who are going to point them maybe to their resource that they need to make their lives better. So you have to be someone who is empathetic. You must be trustworthy. They must be able to trust you with their personal information, with their life stories that you're not going to tell the whole world. You must be non-judgmental. You
Mhm.
must also be, for me, you have to be culturally aware. That is something I realized, that if you understand that people's culture make them who they are, why they behave the way they behave, then you will be the person who will be on your way to become the best community service worker. So that's what I would tell you if you'd like to study. Be an empathetic person, trustworthy, be patient, be culturally aware, then you will have no problem to be a CSW worker.
Oh, great. That's a great points actually, because those are the things that are very important to be SSW in any ways. So yeah, thank you very much for sharing that. Let's come to the topics now. You told me that you have been here for over a week, over a year. So you must have taught so many courses, probably the whole bunch of courses in CSW.
Yes.
What are the topics, specific topics that are covered in CSW program?
Oh, I've covered quite a few, like self-care, because to me that's the number one. Is that I always tell them that if you are not able to care for yourself, you'll not be able to care for others that will be trusted to you. So self-care, there's counseling, advanced counseling, basic counseling. I've done behavior modification, so introduction to sociology, professional documentation, law for support workers, basic communication, group formation, human sexuality, and the list goes on.
Mhm. Yeah, so I think they are very interesting topics. And do you think that these are sufficient enough to be graduate as a CSW?
Yes, I think it is, at least in my opinion, I think it's sufficient. However, people also have to build on their personality. So it's not only on the theory that would make you the ideal person, but you also have to incorporate your personality within what you have learned and be able to transfer it to others to be able to help them. So in my opinion, I think all of these subject topics, modules, is sufficient for someone to graduate as a CSW worker.
Thank you. Thank you for that feedback, Khalid. So I think you must have taught a lot of students by now. and you must have experience with different types of students. I know there are some students who have challenges in their back home. When they come here, they have a lot of challenges as well. And as you know, career college like Computek College is dealing with new immigrants, adults, family responsibility, and so on. But you can also see some students successfully graduating from the program. So, what is your experience? If you can share with us, if you have such examples, or if you have some examples of students who have successfully graduated from the program, crossing a number of challenges, so that it can be a lesson for other students as well.
Oh yes, I the number one challenge most times that the students deal with and even share with me. Sometimes after class when they say, "Ma'am, can I speak with you?" Most time it's like their family issues. Some of them are here without their families.
Yeah.
So that's a challenge. Some of them have young children, they have babies. So that's a challenge that they have to 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 get across, because they have to now be able to study, be able to pass, and then they want to graduate and be successful. One story I can share where, not in this present batch that I had, but in a previous batch where I had a husband and a wife. I've had classes where I've had about three
Yeah.
or four husband and wife in my class.
Yeah.
And one, the partner, he was a doctor, and his wife shared how he has been depressed because he had now to come, like he had to come down from where he was,
Mhm.
because he had to flee his country. So like he was now below his level.
Yeah.
So that caused him not to be too happy. He was depressed. However, after completing his course and he was able to get a job, even though it was a job as a PSW that was way below his standard as a doctor, she told me, she shared with me after that he was now doing so much better because he was working, he had a job. He felt now that he could move forward. And to me, that was such it to me that was good, in the fact that I also contributed
Yeah.
to his success,
Definitely.
and that to me was good. He was on his way.
Yeah, definitely, you have contributed a lot because as instructors, we are not only teaching but also we are mentoring. So you should be very proud, and you should be confidently share this story, because you are the main contributor actually to his success. It's a really great story. Thank you, Khalid. I know that you have mentioned some qualities that a student in CSW have to possess. But do you have any specific things that you have to say as CSW students have to possess any specific type of quality?
Um, yes, I recently, when we finish a module and there maybe have completed an assignment or a test we will go over. I remember recently that one particular module, I did not like the result that I got.
Mhm.
So I opened back the portal for them to resit, and none of them took up the offer. And I remember I spoke strongly to them that I felt bad after that. In life, you have to be forceful, not in a bad way, but you have to have that resolve, that strength. Being, what should I say? I like someone who is motivated then to press,
Exactly.
because remember that in Canada we it's not our original country, and some of us have to leave all that we know, even our very culture. We have to leave that behind to fit in. So I like someone who is driven, motivated. When there is a challenge, where you rise to it. And I that is what I wanted to bring out in them, that you rise to challenges, because this time is become so challenging, and COVID has shown us that you have
Mhm.
to be someone who is driven, who have to push against all that comes to you. So that for me, for someone as a CSW worker, you must be able to push against all the odds that life will throw against us. So someone who is driven, motivated, wants to take on a challenge and wants to be successful. I feel that's good qualities for a CSW person to have.
Great, fair enough. It's a good one. So now, if you come back to the job opportunities that a CSW graduate can have, we have a lot of students graduating from our program. What are the job opportunities that CSW can have after graduating? And probably you may also mention that I hope you're aware that we have a career service department at our college who is responsible to connect our students with potential employers, help them to write their resume and so on. So, regarding this, what are the opportunities, the job opportunities that CSW students can get after their graduation? And do you think that there is enough support or help from the college to explore such opportunities by the students?
As we speak, Jana, who is the career person, was just in our class this morning. So
Mhm.
student had an opportunity to speak with her, dispel
Great,
some of their fears that they had, and maybe they're not sure what placement would be like. So in fact, she was in our class this morning to speak with them, some of the places that they would also go. There's lots of job opportunities because a CSW person can work in so many places. There's group home, shelters, community centers, schools, colleges. I am always even their biggest cheerleader and even tell them that I would love one day that I would see some of you even as an instructor in your alma mater, the very college that you learn. So there are
right,
several opportunities. Although I must say sometimes it is challenging to get a job as a CSW worker because sometimes the employers want you to have the lived experience then before you are offered a job. So sometimes I know it can be challenging, but as I have shared with them, if you are motivated and you're driven, that will not stop you from pressing forward in going after what you want. In terms of the college being sufficient for them, I I am not sure if if it is because one of the drawbacks that I have when they are out of theory and have completed placement, sometimes I am not in contact with them unless someone wants to share with me of their success story afterwards. But I have not gotten a specific complaint, I must say, Dr. Berry, that someone is dissatisfied with how the college with the college or even after they have graduated. I have not gotten any complaint from anyone to say that they are dissatisfied.
great, great. That's good. Actually, we want our students to get connected with our instructors, with the college, even after they graduate, because we have an alumni, and then we want them to connect with us. We want us to connect with them so that we'll also tell their success story. That's great. Uh, I don't want to close my podcast without asking this question. There are a lot of students who wants to come to CSW, but they're not sure whether it is for them or not. And secondly, we also have students who are almost in the middle way or in halfway in our program. So, what is your message to these students, to both types of the students? For the students who wants to come to our college or to our program, and for the students who are already in our in our college, in our program, and they are on halfway. What's your message?
Well, what my a message that I would give to anyone who wants to be a CSW person, and you are sure that that's what you would want. My message to you is, most times what hinders you or stops you is because the fear of the unknown. You are
Yeah,
not sure what you are going to face, so you stop and you think, because most times I can speak for a Computek college and the people that I am an instructor to, that they are adults, in the
yeah,
sense that they have come into a country in their adult years, and sometimes because they have families,
yeah,
they have drawbacks and setbacks. They are new to something, so they have challenges. So they are looking at the challenges, but if they just take one day at a time, that's what I would say. Take one day at a time. Don't think of a year from now, because sometimes if you think, you can't see past maybe a week or a month. So just take one day at a time. Be patient. Tell yourself that you can do it.
mhm,
Be your biggest validator. I always say, look in the mirror and tell yourself that I can do it. I will finish at the end. Maybe you can write it on paper that I started this day, and then when I complete at the end of this, I am going to reward myself. Or I left my country maybe to and told my relatives that I am going to make it, so I want to make them proud. So I am going to persevere, I am going to push through, and I am going to complete. That's what I would tell them.
oh, wow, great. Thank you very much, Khalid. So, thank you very much, Khalid, for your
Thank you,
time,
sir, for
a
having
very
me.
valuable time. And thank you also for sharing your experience. I know this is a very huge experience you have. Thank you very much. It's not time is not enough to share all your experiences, but hopefully we'll also meet sometime in the future to do the same podcasts and to share also your valuable knowledge and experience. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you, Colin, and I wish you a very nice rest of the day. Thank you very much.
Thank you too, sir. And I must say, I want to thank you, Computer College, for taking a chance on me, I must say, without me having the experience and you gave me. And I must say, I feel blessed for
Thank
that.
you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Colin.